All right. Good morning, everyone. It's way too early to be doing this, but we do have some severe weather in the area and actually have a tornado warning in effect, not for the Dallas County or Saxe area, but we do have a tornado warning for, let's see, southern Tarrant, northern Johnson County. And let me pull up the right one here. I can get this here. Yeah. So radar indicated tornado, which is kind of what we figured. These spin up tornadoes that we could see with this line. Let's see, moving east at 50 miles an hour. So a lot of these storms are moving really, really fast. So that's sort of the good news. But these individual cells out ahead of this line is what we have to worry about. So, but again, tornado warning for Johnson County and northern Johnson County, southern Tarrant County until, oh gosh, what does it say? Uh, until 5:30. Or not that, yeah, until 5:30. It's early, I apologize. Okay, so let's kinda do a bigger wrap up of what's going on at the moment. So, as we talked about, we have this line of storms that we saw on the radar simulation yesterday or last night, so it's kinda coming to fruition. Overall, it's not too bad. It's not great, but it's not too bad. So what we can expect the next hour or so is a very stormy weather, winds gusting over 60 miles an hour. Just looking at some of the storm reports, had several gusts over 60 miles an hour. These severe thunderstorm warnings, we have a couple out right now. So we have a severe thunderstorm warning for eastern Wise, Denton County, eastern Parker, Tarrant County, and western Dallas County. These storms are warned for producing widespread wind gusts of 70 to 75 miles an hour. So and quarter size hail. As I mentioned yesterday, the quarter size hail, the hail threat is not as big of a concern. However, if you have a quarter size hail with 75-mile-an-hour winds, that it would not be good at all. So let's hope that combination doesn't happen, or certainly not widespread. All right, so I am going to go to a different radar here. Give me just a second. All right, let's try this. Here we go. All right, a little bit different radar. This shows velocity just a little bit better. Okay, so I would point out a couple things. These are these individual storms we have to watch a little bit closely. Nothing, no warnings on them yet, but those are the ones you want to kind of be concerned about. We'll put this in motion. And again, everything's moving about 50 to 50, 50 to 55 miles an hour to the northeast. So, like I said, the good news is that um, these well, the bad news is these storms are kind of ferocious, but the good news is they won't last terribly long at any one location. So it is just something, it's just what is it? Just after 5:15. So most of us aren't up yet, but I guess the somewhat good news is that around the core of rush hour 7 a.m. ish. Most of this bad weather will be east of Dallas Fort Worth, so that's sort of good news. Well, it's not sort of good news; it is good news. It's just getting between now and 7 are going to be our our concern. All right, so let's zoom in a little bit, see what we got. All right, so I know this map's a little hard to read, but this is I'll just draw it right here. Saxi's right there if you have a hard time making that out. So there's that. And we'll put that in motion for you. You see the line of storms just about to enter Dallas County. So that would put this line. Here's Coppell, Euless, Arlington. It's going to put it here in the next 30 minutes or so, probably just before 6, I would guess, for Saxe. So just keep that in mind. Especially if you head out to work early, you're going to want to know that. All right, so let's look at velocity because that's kind of what we're interested in. So let's look at this. So you have this signature right here. Let's put it back on reflectivity. Yep, that's what I thought. Okay. So these are for lack of a better way to say it, these are the kinks in the line that we have to be concerned about because this is where circulations would happen. So if we go back to reflectivity, yeah, that's it's not warned. Doesn't mean it will be or won't be, but it's just something we want to watch. And so let's if we put this in motion, you can kind of see kind of moving just a little bit north of due east. So if it were to, it actually is not warned. I wouldn't be shocked if it was, but probably not strong enough yet for the meteorologist at National Weather Service to warn it. I'm sure they're watching it. Let's see. So again, on its current trajectory, it would be that. Now, again, a lot can happen between now and then. That doesn't mean it's going to hold together. But that's something we have to watch. All right. All right. So let's stop this. All right. Yes. Good morning, Miss Paul. How are you? Thank you for joining us on this early morning. Oh, I wish I was doing something else in a way. Although I obviously I was going to talk about the weather. All right, so let me check the spotter reports here. See if there's anything interesting. Like I said, very common to see wind gusts over 50 miles an hour. I think we've only seen one that was 75. I think everything else has been 60, which is not great. 72. Okay, we saw a 72 mile an hour wind gust. That was at Waco. Okay. Um, all right. So as far as the tornado warning down here, they are not going to extend that warning. So that is good. And they haven't, they haven't warned for that, which again is good. Let's see what the velocity. Yeah, it's not strong by any means. So, but I'm sure they're watching it. Oh, you're welcome, Nisha. Going to Bader, Dallas, man. Yeah, just be really careful. Because I don't know exactly when you're leaving, but well, let's see, this line, I get a little bit of development out ahead of that line here, right here, to watch that. Most likely it would be absorbed by this main swell line. So, um, yeah, probably even if you left right now, you would, that line's probably the worst of it's probably gonna be through. It's just between here and there, you're gonna have some issues. So be very, very careful about that. Good morning, Misty. How are you? And Misty, I will go ahead and tell you because you're probably gonna ask. Let's see. Let's zoom Misty out here. Ooh, that's way too far. Let's see. So, Misty, you got some storms down here. Nothing. Well, this one's warned, but no tornado warnings. You're probably where the Metroplex is probably 7 a.m. ish, or excuse me, 6 a.m. ish. You're probably 8, I would guess. So just think about that this morning, whatever your plans are. All right. So, a couple things. Let's do this. Well, come on, Jeff. Got a little bit of a hail signature there. Like I said, I think the biggest concern with that is quarter size hail, but most of it's way smaller than that. Yeah, Joe. Yes, they are going to cancel the tornado warning. And I'm sure it's going to hop off the radar there in just a second. The good news is that circulation has weakened. That is really good news. So, yeah, let's see here. Appreciate you saying that. Let's see, Misty, if I need to leave at 7, headed to work, I might make it. Yeah, I think you will down your way, Misty. I think you will be at work by the time it gets there. So, good morning, Mr. Halterman. Yes, very windy. Yeah, it was windy all night. Well, I tell you what, which was not unexpected. That shows how strong the storm system is. This low pressure system, really, really strong, and that's what's causing our bad weather. And it always seems to be at night, right? That kind of eerie feeling of the wind at night when it's not raining, not storming. It's just that something's coming. That's how it is. So, but good morning to you, by the way. All right, so let's see. And I will go ahead and tell you that there have been a few cities around the metroplex that have, um, turned on their sirens. Of course, when we had I guess the tornado warning is still technically in effect, but obviously they're going to warn it. They're going to turn their sirens on for that. But they are, like I said, we've had quite a few wind gusts over 60 miles an hour. So I wouldn't be surprised as this line moves through that you're going to see more cities do that. I would go ahead and tell you, just FYI, Coppell's, they've turned on their sirens. Irving's turned on their sirens. So, not saying the city that you live in is going to do that necessarily. It's just that if you do hear the sirens, if it's a tornado warning, I'll definitely tell you that. But if it's not a tornado warning, then for your area, if you hear your sirens, then it's for the strong wind gusts. Most likely over 70 miles an hour. So it is something that we definitely want to watch. That's for sure. And like I said yesterday, or like I said last night when I was doing my update, uh, that is the biggest concern with all this weather is the wind. Again, obviously tornadoes kind of go into that, but the main threat is the wind. All right. Let's see. Just see where was that? Okay, just got a spotter report for Hearst, northeast mall area, went 52-mile-an-hour wind gust. And let's see. I don't know I think I could do this. Let's see. Yeah, we could switch this out real quick. All right. So I'm just going to share my weather station for a second. All right, so just kind of give you an idea of what's going on at my house at the moment. Hopefully, the power will stay on. and all right, we got a new warning. Let's see what this is. Hold on a second. Yeah, this is kind of expected. This is the severe thunderstorm warnings for everything east of this line currently. I'll update that in just a second. Let's see. Again, not terribly unexpected at all. So we'll get back to radar here in just a second. But again, about 70 degrees for March 3rd in the morning. That's not the greatest. And the maximum wind gust at my house so far is 41 miles an hour. Right there, and sadly, I think that will increase a little bit. So, all right, let's go back to the radar here. Do this. All right. So raining pretty good at my house at the moment, but got that little cell right there. Nothing too bad. A couple lightning strikes. I will take it. All right, let's see. Let me do this. All right. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I apologize. Hold on a second. Okay, I hear sirens. Don't know whose that is. Don't know if it's Saxies or Rowletts or somebody or Wiley. Don't know. There are no. Let me just tell you, if you're hearing sirens, then at least right now, yep, I heard that, Nisha. It's hard to tell because I live so close to different cities' sirens. I don't know if they're ours or somebody else's. Okay, Deborah says sirens in Rowlett. That kind of makes sense. So the severe thunderstorm again, there's not a tornado warning. So let me just say that. Now, having said that, yeah, obviously damaging winds can do something, that's for sure. All right, let's see here. What is this warning for? Okay, so Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This severe thunderstorm warning they just issued for Rockwall County, Western Hunt, Kaufman County, Eastern Denton, Collin County, Dallas County. All pretty not unexpected. 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter size hail. So, yeah, and that's typically um, the criteria for the sirens. So, yeah, hold on. 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. That's lovely. Mrs. Bickerstaff asked me about the sirens. Yeah. So don't be terrible. I mean, I would take it, be weather aware, of course, and then get this off the screen here. Okay. But like I said, it's okay. The sirens are going up. It's really more of precaution. Doesn't mean you're going to see 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts where you are. But it's definitely a possibility. That's for sure. So that's why the sirens are going off, at least in some cities. Um, and if I get a call, I'll pause and be right back. I haven't got a call yet. So like I said, every time you hear the sirens, it's just not the greatest, but you know, oh, thank you, Myra. Sirens in Heritage Park. Okay, well, if you hear sirens in Heritage Park, that means it's actually setting them off. So again, standard protocol. If there's a severe thunderstorm warning that's issued that has the threat of 70-mile-an-hour winds, that is the criteria that Saxon uses and a lot of other cities use. It's pretty obvious that that's why they set those off. It's now I like I always say, outdoor sirens are what they are. They're outdoor sirens. That means don't be outside. I don't think most of us are, if any, but yeah. Garrett, you're going back to bed. Yeah, you live in the western part of town, so you're all done. I'm a little jealous right now. Good to see you, Garrett. All right, so let's go back to the radar analysis here. So we do have this little cluster of storms right here. I'll put this in motion. Like I said, moving out to the northeast. It's not warned, although it's within the warning. I think the warning is, for the squall line right here. And so, but I think if you're in the Heath area, McClendon, Chisholm, a little bit more of a hail signature there. So, um, you know, if you're in that area, just may see a little bit more hail. Hey Joe, should we get into shelter, Carl? No, I don't know that that's necessary at this point. Now I will say this: if you, by the way, it never hurts. So if you feel more comfortable doing that, I definitely wouldn't wouldn't suggest you not do that. Um, but obviously, stay away from windows, anything like that. And in a general sense, just stay in an interior portion of your house. But like I said, if it's not going to hurt you if you get into shelter, but it's not that situation. We don't have a tornado bearing down on somebody, thank goodness. But yeah, just don't want to be close to windows or anything. Yeah, sirens are stopped for now, so we shall see what comes forth. Excuse me, going forward. Right, so here's what the concern is as we see in these lines. It's got this classic Boeing structure, and that's just a classic indication of very strong winds. And if we put this in velocity mode, let's see if we can get some indications here. Oh, don't want that one. Let's try this one. There we go. All right, so yeah. Now, I just it's kind of probably a little hard to see there, but that's you put this little analysis tool on it, and it shows 52-mile-an-hour wind. Now remember, this is measured from the radar site, and the radar beam goes up like this. And so, just for reference, the radar site's right here, this little black hole. So the radar beam goes around 360, and of course it shoots up at an angle. 0.5 degrees is what it is. And so as you get further out, the higher up in the cloud the radar beam signals. And that's so when you see a measurement like this is 62 miles an hour, that is not necessarily at the surface. That is measured, probably in this case, since it's so close to radar, probably just maybe 100, 500, maybe 1,000 feet above the radar. And of course, the nature of physics from thunderstorms is that, the thunderstorm, the downdraft of the rain will take that momentum, that wind will ride that momentum down to the surface. And that's why you get, in some cases, that's why you get the higher wind gust and in some cases downburst. Downburst not really in play here. It's just it's way more widespread, so it's not one isolated downburst. So starting to, like I said, there's definitely you see a lot of 70s here. Let's put the reflectivity back on. Yeah, that's probably that. I think the reflectivity is a little behind. I'm sorry, the velocity is a little bit behind the reflectivity. So, but again, it gives you a good representation of what's going on. Okay, so we are about here in Northeast. Let's get rid of this. Here in Northeast Dallas County, it's about showtime, unfortunately. But again, if you're just joining us, most of us are probably up before we want to be up. So again, just the main threat for the area is very gusty winds, damaging winds. Seeing widespread reports of 60 miles an hour, some 70. Just kind of checking the latest. DFW Airport just had a wind gust to 74 miles an hour. I don't like to hear that, but that's kind of what's coming our way. Now, again, not everybody's going to see the 75 miles an hour wind, but it's going to be windy, that's for sure. Hey, Kyle, do you think any possible hail in Rowlett area? I don't really see that on the radar. We got that one cell uh, here to southeast of Rockwell. Maybe pretty quick. It's got a hail signature in it, but yeah, that's the biggest hail. That's the biggest storm that's produced hail that I've seen. So in Rowlett, I don't think so. Let me say this. When this line moves through, I think you definitely could see some hail in it. It doesn't seem. The warning is for quarter size hail. So, um, so it's not like you couldn't see any. But I think the way bigger concern with these storms are the wind. Let's do this. All right, let's put this in motion. And like I said, the bad news is that we are dealing with this stormy weather. The good news is it won't last very long. That's the good news. We just got to get through it. All right. So, and again, you have to remember, this is obviously internet-based radar, so it's a little behind. So again, I would imagine it's the leading edge of the line is probably about to cross. If it's crossing right now, US 75. So that would be Plano, Richardson, right there, downtown Dallas. So like it's moving pretty doggone fast. So I don't think it's going to be very long. Yeah, Carrie, it's a little scary. There's no doubt about that, but it's nothing to be terribly alarmed about. Like I said, thankfully we've only had one tornado warning. That was earlier. I didn't see a whole lot with it, so that's good. That doesn't mean that there couldn't be some damage, but I hadn't seen any reports of that yet. Again, going to the storm, the velocity. Again, the good news is that there's no rotation. Tight circular rotations. That's good, but like I said, that's not really the concern tonight or this morning. It's just the wind. All right, just had a whoops, excuse me. Just had a 48 mile an hour wind gust in Duncanville. Hey, Jennifer, head downtown Dallas to work in about 30 minutes. Should I delay? I would. Not by much, though. I think, like I said, it's about 5:40 now. It is in downtown Dallas as we speak, as you could probably see. So moving pretty quick. I don't know what time you had to be in downtown Dallas, but I would say Going to come through Saxe, Garland, Rowlett area here in just a few minutes, probably within the next 10 or 15 minutes. Probably going to, the worst of the worst is probably going to last about 5, 10, hopefully no longer than 15 minutes. And then after that, you could head on out. So if my math is all right, that would be 6-ish. That's what I would wait for. Um, I'm not gonna lie. There's a part of me that wants to be out live streaming this, but way too early for that. All right. So, but yeah, I would just wait just a little bit before you go out there, especially if you're heading somewhere like downtown Dallas where the traffic's gonna be crazy anyway. All right. So let's check my house. I'm just looking at my. Yeah, it's not too windy yet. Um, it will be. I say that. Look at my. Whoops. Go this way. Yeah. Oh boy. We've had this wind gust all night long, and it's like barely 10 miles an hour right now, which I hate because it's that. They always talk about that calm before the storm, and it's really really true. I mean, like I said earlier, had a 41-mile-an-hour wind gust overnight. Obviously not thunderstorm related, and now I look outside, I look at my weather station, it's 8 miles an hour. It's like, ugh, because that means it's about to get bad. Excuse me. Hey, Kara, are the worst winds ahead of it or behind it? There's an initial wind gust. It's in this. I got another warning come out, so hold on just a second. Okay, so it's the warning is for these southerns. Yeah, for these southern storms down here. Okay. Um, yeah, so the wind corridor, I would say, Kara, is, that's a horrible line there, but but you get the point. It's kind of in that core. So I think, oops, and the velocity, yeah, it's a little misleading here. I'm not real sure why it's not doing a really good job of showing it, but that's not really. I don't know if the regular velocity is any different. That helps a little bit. Okay. Yep, and my bad. That it's early in the morning. The storm relative velocity is really more for tornado signatures. The base velocity is more for straight line winds. So it's early. All right. So, hey Ashley, head to White Squirrel driving in this. Oh, be careful, Ashley. That's not good. If you could hold off, I would. Although you're going the other direction though. All right. So yeah, so up in the McKinney area, uh, again, this is a loft, so it's not at the surface necessarily, but again, it kind of gives you an idea of what could be hitting the ground. So definitely some higher wind gusts up here. Um, so these brighter areas, 67 miles an hour, just off the surface. So whether that ultimately translates down to the surface, that's a different thing. But obviously, it's not going to be calm either. So it's something that you kind of get an idea. That's why we're seeing wind gusts in some areas over 70. Let's see. And by the way, if my live stream suddenly cuts off, then you will know I lost power. So just fair warning. I'm not being rude. It's just, my power is off. All right. So just checking the spotter reports here. It's like Levon activated their sirens. Okay, so earlier we had a report at DFW that it had wind gusts of 74 or 74. Dallas Loveville 78. So that sucks. Okay. All right. So as you can see, oops. Here's some corridor of heavy winds. I haven't seen any reports out of McKinney, so I don't know if they're getting heavy winds or not. Oops, that. We'll put this in motion. Yeah, this is one of those times where the reflectivity doesn't tell you near as much as the velocity will, because that's, like I said, that's the main concern. Um, so yeah, so like I said, it's there's going to be some areas that see really strong winds. There's going to be other areas that I think everybody's going to see very windy conditions, but it's you know not everybody's going to see the worst of the worst, and hopefully wherever you're watching from, hopefully that applies to you. That you don't see the heavy stuff, of course. Oops. Let's lay this frame here. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's looking not quite here yet. Looks like. All right, so we'll put the reflectivity back on. All right. So again, remember this is internet, so it's radar, so it's a little bit behind in its where it is. So okay, so just got a report from the McKinney Airport, 63 miles an hour. So that's not surprising. So I think it's oh goodness, Ashley, how big? How big's the hail? Let's see. Yeah, I think it's about showtime at my house. Looks like you can look at the hail real quick. I can find it. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like I said, that's not surprising at all. Just hopefully it's not too big. Yeah, there's some gusty winds in here. That's for sure. Hey, Kyle. Yeah, the weather in Bonham, Hector. Yeah, give me a second, and I will do that for you. Yeah, it is starting to get real at my house. All right. All right. So I know this is really clustered up here. Oops, that went too far. Let me get you Bonham real quick. Oh my gosh, this is so messy. Here we go. Okay. Bottom's right there. All right. So you have a severe thunderstorm warning. I don't know if I could do it with that on there. 60 miles an hour, quarter touch hail. It's not quite as intense up your way. So just FYI. So Kyle, you're probably gonna, you know, get the least of it as we will down here. Hey Beth, looking at tornadoes. Not really. We had a tornado warning earlier for southern Tarrant County. So I mean, it's a possibility for spin up. And like I said last night, it is something that it's very hard to it's very hard to determine. Those spin up tornadoes, it's very hard. They spin up and they leave. So, but not really a big tornado threat. It's the threat we're experiencing right now, the wind. Yeah, so I'm trying to trying to kind of turn around, look at my weather station. Yeah, it's the weather station's, well, you know what? That's my weather. Let's see. 45, 42, 54. That's not good. Just had a 54 at my house. All right. So if you're just joining us and you woke up and you're like, what the heck is going on? Yeah, I talked about this last night. So this is what the threat was going to be. It was going to be wind, not really a tornado threat, not really a hail threat, but as Ashley said, we just got a couple of hail reports. Yes, Jeff, your power just went out. I'm sorry about that. And by the way, like I said earlier, if I suddenly leave you, I'm not being rude. It just means my power went out. So just go ahead and tell you that ahead of time. Hopefully not. So like I said, I'll try to get in as much as I can in case I do lose power. So like I said, tornadoes, it's not really a big threat. It's the wind. Just had a gust of 56 miles an hour at my house. Um, and not a big hail threat. The good news is that this is not going to last very long. At least the worst of the worst, I guess I should say. Um, and so that's the good news because it's about 10 till 6 as I'm saying this, 6:15 for most of us. Now, you live in the eastern part of Dallas County. I mean, if you live east of Dallas in Rockwall, obviously it's going to be 6:30 ish. But it's just something that it's the good news is it's not going to last very long. So that's the good news. Um, yeah, and so if you're texting me, then you can hop on. uh, Let me do this real quick. Uh, I was gonna say, yeah, just all right. So if you text me and I don't text you back, that's because I'm doing this right now. So my apologies. um, all right. So again, if you're just joining us, there's nothing to be terribly concerned about. It kind of scary. I say scary. I mean, it's just it's no fun going through windstorms, especially after last year. I don't see that being this, thankfully, at least not for some of us anyway. Um, like I said, not really if you're just joining us, not really a tornado threat. Although again, if you have a wind gust to 75 miles an hour, that's going to seem like it. But it's thankfully it's not that. Like I said, some of you probably heard some sirens this morning. You're welcome, Carmen. I appreciate it. I like to cover this for you guys. You've heard some sirens. That might have been what woke you up. The storm might have woke you up. Like I said, so as I talked about last night, this is kind of what we expected. Um, we are very fortunate. I always look at the bright side of things. We're very fortunate that this is coming through the time of day it is. It's not coming through there in the heat of the day. To where that would probably be a lot worse situation. Like I said, we're coming up on 5 till 6. If you normally leave at 6, I would wait, obviously, hopefully stating the obvious. And it won't last terribly long. So if your kiddo rides the bus, certainly not speaking for GISD, but I'm sure they got delays. Check the bus schedule. Pretty sure your kid's not gonna be out there waiting for the bus anyway at this time of day. And even if they were, you wouldn't be doing that. Like I said, it's not gonna last very long. Could see some small hail. I think we're hopefully seeing the worst of it right now. Let's go back to the velocity. There we go. Okay, so the wider colors, you got these reds. Again, reds, the wind's moving away from the radar, and greens, the wind's moving toward the radar. And so we'll zoom in a little bit here. So these brighter colors are higher wind gusts. And so, if you got like go right there, that's 66. Now, again, as I said earlier, don't want to keep repeating myself, but this is a radar beam that it's going up from the Fort Worth radar site up into the sky at a 0.5 degree angle. So this is not at the surface, but it does give it, it's probably our distance from the radar is probably 1,000 feet, maybe 2,000 feet up in the air. But it gives you the idea that, hey, there's some wind here because just the nature of physics is that you have a thunderstorm and it's going to, that momentum, that downdraft, the rain is going to pull that wind down with momentum and get some of it to the surface. So that's why we're seeing the gusty winds. Seeing again, according to radar, we're seeing some more wind gusts up McKinney. Now, I just want to point something out here. You see this 107 up near where is that near White, right? That is not at the surface. Again, the further away from the radar you go, the higher. This is way up in the cloud. So just kind of give you an idea that doesn't do a whole lot the further away you're at from the radar. All right, so let's go back to reflectivity. All right, so again, it's internet radar, so it is little bit behind, but it gives an idea. Hey, Kara, it sounded like the worst part may have passed through. I sure hope so. I'm glad your power is flickering and not out. Hopefully, it'll stay that way. Yes, we're hopefully getting through the worst of it. You can kind of see by radar, and I will say too, on the backside of these storm systems, don't be well, don't be shocked if it still has some gusty winds there because not to get too much into the physics of it, but you know, the anvil goes up and toward the direction of the storm, but you also have kind of the back part of the anvil that can bring wind to the surface. And so I'm not saying there's going to be huge winds in that part of the storm. It's just that, it's going to be gusty winds, for a little bit, but nothing like we had here just a second ago. Just keep that in mind, especially when you're going to work. If you see some gusty winds, it's not near what it is with the line. Let's see what the update it is on the warning. Of course, obviously the warning is still going on. They had a tornado watch until 11. I don't think I talked about that. Yeah, the hazard's still 75 mile an hour wind gust. Again, this warning is in effect until why is it not? I'm sure it's there somewhere. I'm still waking up. 6:30. Okay, 6:30. Jeez, it is early. Okay, glad you got your power back, Ashley. That's good news. All right, so take my weather station. All right, so I think we made it through. I hope everybody's got power. If you don't, I hope it comes on back pretty quick. And I appreciate everyone tuning in. The other thing I'm going to say is, once we get past this, you're welcome, Justin. Go make some chicken this morning. It's the good news is like, yes, we definitely had some damaging wind gusts. I've seen some reports of damage, but I'm hoping that it's not widespread. We'll find out. So the other story the rest of the day is kind of once we get past this. Well, before I say that, as you can see, it's going to rain for a little bit. So I would think that you're going to see some lighter showers. Probably maybe up to 9 o'clock. So just keep that in mind if you're traveling. Now, the bigger story later today is going to be the wind, and not obviously a wind in a convective sense like thunderstorms, but this really strong low pressure system is going to move across our area, and it's going to push winds out of the west, where it did not rain in West Texas. That means dust. So if you are sensitive to dust, I don't know how thick it's going to be here in the Metroplex, but certainly the further west you go, the worse it might be. And let me just kind of show you that graphic here real quick. So wind advisory in effect until 9 p.m. tonight, and it is for wind gusts, sustained gusts from 20 to 35 miles an hour. Sustained wind, I should say, 20 to 35 miles an hour. Wind gusts at the 50 miles an hour. And that's obviously non-thunderstorm winds. So if you have loose stuff, if you didn't put it up last night, you definitely want to get that together before this afternoon. Then the wind will die down, and we will have a cold front move through, really more like a cool front, and cool us off a little bit, and then it'll warm up a little bit toward the end of the week. All right, so yeah, Kyle, you got some wind up your way. It is. Is that Oklahoma? Yeah, that's up in Oklahoma. Okay. Yeah, just and actually just real quick, Kyle. Got a little hail core right there near Bell, so just keep that in mind. All right, so let's put this in motion one more time. All right. And again, if you have travel plans this morning, you're probably good. Just good old-fashioned rain. And Oh, Kyle, I said Bonham. I'm sorry. You said Rowlett. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, it's crazy. It won't last very long. Let me see what's doing at my house. Yeah, we're back under 20 miles an hour, so that's good. All right. So, as most of us, my day is already started, but my work day, I'm going to feel good tonight. I can tell you that. So, like I said last night, this is March the 4th. Yeah, there's my alarm. Yay. March the 4th. And, the unofficial start of severe weather season is March the 1st. So, welcome to spring in Texas. I will say the good news is that we won't really have, I just going by memory, to be honest, but I don't know that we have a decent chance for severe weather for a little while. So, that is definitely good. Because we all need to take a break, obviously. Oh, okay, Kyle, your mom's in Bonham. Okay, yeah, just tell your mom that gonna be a little stormy there, and that cell up there could have some. Let me get the radar back up here. Could have some hail in it, and just tell your mom that it won't last very long. So that's saving grace on this whole thing. All right, so you can see the storms are the worst of the worst is starting to move out. And gonna see some rain for the next couple hours. Then see the sun this afternoon, most likely. Excuse me. And maybe with some dust. So, all right, that's about it for me this morning. Everybody have a wonderful day. I appreciate you tuning in. I hope everybody came through unscathed. And we saw a lot of reports of winds. Don't know about damage, but saw some damage. But hopefully everybody's okay. And if your power's out, I hope you get it back on really, really soon. So, all right. Well, as always, I'm watching the weather, so you don't have to. Thank you so much for tuning in. Escaped another one, I think, for the most part, which is the good Lord's blessings. And I hope everyone has a great day. And I will talk to you soon.